So those of you guys who are decently advanced in 5x5 will probably know this trick where you finished your first 8 edges and now you're down to your last 4, but when you go to look for it, there is absolutely nothing paired up. So you don't have this, this, or this. And you do this algorithm right here. And then one of those cases will just magically show up. But does that really work every single time? Well, the answer is yes, and in this video I'm going to be explaining to you guys why this is guaranteed to work. So before we get to that, there are 2 things that we need to go over because they will be important in demonstrating this. So the first one is this back edge right here is never affected, so when you do the algorithm, this edge is untouched. So to not have any one of these 3 cases appear anywhere on the cube, all 3 of these pieces right here have to belong to different home edges, and what I mean by that is edges like this in the solved position. So as you can see, these 3 pieces are to this home edge, but these ones here are all to different ones. Because if you have 2 of them, you're going to get one of these cases right here. And so we need to keep that in mind because that's the only situation we're focused on. Alright, now to get into why this actually works. So the first thing we need to look at is what exactly does this algorithm do? Well, here it is right here. So I just did the algorithm, and as you can see, all it really does is just swap 3 of these middle edges right here. So basically what that means is these wings here will still be connected to each other as if they were glued together. The only difference now is you will just have a different middle edge in between them. So now let's get into why putting a different middle edge in there is going to guarantee to have at least one of these somewhere. Alright, so I'm going to be using these cards right here to demonstrate what's going on because using the cube would probably be a little bit hard for you guys to understand, so we're just going to use this. So these green cards right here correspond to a middle edge, and these red ones will correspond to a wing. And each of the numbers will correspond to a different edge, like one of these. And just to keep in mind that you could move these around the different edges and it would still be considered solved because when you move these around, it doesn't affect this step if it's solved or not. And these 4s right here are going to represent the slot in the back, the one that I mentioned is not affected. So now let's get on to what's actually going on when you do the step. So when you get to the step here and you get a random case, essentially what's going on is it's as if you're shuffling the wings because, like I said, if you move these around, it doesn't affect it. So it's as if you shuffle these, but we're focusing on a specific case right here. And in this case, you might recall that I mentioned that these here are all different. So because of that, each of these edges has to have different numbers. There can't be a repeating number. So there can't be 2 4s right here. They all have to be different. And so we're going to start with the back edge and randomly choose those. So we're going to put these 2 cards right here to represent the back one. And so as you remember when you do the algorithm, these ones here are completely untouched. They're glued together. And now we have 6 remaining cards, but before we get into placing these, there's something I need to show you here, which is going to be important later on. So if you divide all the cards into different numbers, like this, you probably notice that 2 of the numbers, there's only 1 of them, but 2 of them, there are 2 of them. And this is going to be very critical when this actually happens, so remember that. Alright, so now we actually are going to place them in different spots so that it follows the rules that we have. So once again, there can't be any repeating ones anywhere, so we have to place these in that way. And it looks like with this, it follows the rules. So as you can see, all of these right here have different numbers, no repeating ones. Alright, so I mentioned that when you do the algorithm, it essentially switches or cycles the middle edges right here. So if we do that right here, as you can see, we get a bunch of these paired up, which is what we're essentially looking for when we're trying to solve the cube. But why is this always going to happen? Well, here's why right here. So, if you recall, I mentioned that 2 of the numbers, there will be 2 of them somewhere in this area right here. And so we're going to focus on the 3s right here. So, as you can see, here are the 2 3s, and here's the middle 3. And because they can't all be on the same edge, each of them is in a different edge right here. Now because we do the cycle, when we do that, the 3 is guaranteed to hit one of these 3s right here and pair up. Now you might be thinking, well, let's just put the 3 right here, and now it's gone and that's not going to happen. Well, that's incorrect, because remember, two of the numbers have two of the same one somewhere in here, and there's only one spot to put one of those cards so that, or edges, so that it does not hit it. Because now we put the 4 in here instead of the 3, but as you can see, because we have two 4s, the 4 is guaranteed to hit one. So that right there is why this is guaranteed to work every single time. So in a nutshell, here's what's going on. So, in the edges that get affected, we have two sets of wings that belong to each other, right here, and they get shuffled in random spots. And only one of their middle edges can be hidden, while the other one has to appear somewhere in there. And then when you do the algorithm, it's guaranteed to hit one, and that is why this will always work 100% of the time. The next time you're solving and you get this case, don't be worried that it's not going to work. Just do the algorithm, and because of this, it's guaranteed to work. There is absolutely no case that anybody can make up where this will never work. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was interesting for you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll make more of these. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.